Cannabis isn't just an ordinary plant you can pick up and use casually. For thousands of years, across many ancient cultures and civilizations, it has held a sacred place, revered not simply as medicine or recreation, but as a powerful spiritual tool. Imagine a shaman deep in the forest, far away from modern distractions, using cannabis not to get high or pass time, but to pierce through the layers of illusion and meet their true self raw and unfiltered. In ancient India, cannabis was more than just a plant. It was a sacred offering to Shiva, the god of destruction and transformation. But this destruction wasn't negative. It was about the death of the false self, the ego, so that the inner truth could be reborn. Devotees didn't smoke cannabis for fun, but to die to their ego and be reborn spiritually. In Taoist alchemy, cannabis was carefully blended with other herbs to refine the energy within the body. It was used as a sacred catalyst for cultivating inner silence and triggering visionary dreams. The goal was not to dull the senses or escape reality, but to awaken subtle perception and sharpen insight. Even the Sufi mystics, known for their intense devotion and mystical practices, incorporated cannabis into their ceremonies to dissolve the self and unite with the divine presence. But even among them, cannabis was understood as a double-edged sword. If used improperly, it could create an illusion of awakening a false high that didn't truly touch the soul. Cannabis was never just a recreational escape or a pastime. In many ancient societies, it was a sacred gateway, a ritualistic tool used only by those who were ready to confront the deepest truths about themselves. It demanded presence, honesty, and a willingness to dissolve illusions. The plant itself was considered a spirit ally, one that could either guide you toward profound insight or unbalance your inner harmony, depending on your readiness. In ancient texts, cannabis is described not as a casual herb, but as a potent spiritual ally, a substance that can sharpen perception and elevate consciousness when respected, but also one that can expose your unresolved pain and chaos if you are unprepared. For shamans and mystics, the act of using cannabis was never about decoration or distraction. It was about annihilation of the ego, a sacred death, so that the soul might be born anew. This sacred use contrasts sharply with today's casual consumption, where cannabis is often sold like candy, consumed in passing moments without any ritual or reverence. What was once a profound ceremony has become a spectacle or a trend. But the plant itself has not changed. It still holds the power to amplify whatever lies within you, for better or worse. Imagine cannabis as a mirror. It doesn't create change, but reflects what's inside you. If you carry unresolved grief, fear, or confusion, it will bring those feelings to the surface unfiltered. If you carry clarity, openness, and balance, it will amplify those qualities as well. In this light, cannabis isn't good or bad. It is a sacred test challenging you to meet yourself fully, to see what you have hidden or denied. It demands respect, preparation, and above all, honesty. The question is, are you ready to meet yourself in that reflection? Now that we understand cannabis as a sacred spiritual test, there is one essential truth we must grasp deeply. Cannabis doesn't change who you are. It simply amplifies everything already inside you. This means your experience with cannabis reflects your inner state at that moment. If your mind is calm, your heart open, and your spirit willing, cannabis becomes a powerful catalyst for deep self-awareness, healing, and insight. It acts like a mirror shining light into the dark corners you usually avoid. But if you use cannabis as a way to escape, to numb pain, or to avoid difficult feelings, it will amplify those unresolved wounds and chaos, sometimes in a very intense and uncomfortable way. Cannabis is like a double-edged mirror. It doesn't judge, it simply reflects. Imagine standing before a mirror in a cluttered, chaotic room. You see all the disorder and mess clearly. But if the room is calm and clean, the mirror shows that serenity. The plant works the same way on your inner world, reflecting your fears, grief, joy, and shadows without distortion. Traditionally, cannabis was never taken lightly. It was surrounded by rituals, fasting, meditation, prayer, to prepare mind and body for the experience. These practices created a sacred container, allowing the plant's revelations to be received safely and integrated deeply. Today, however, cannabis is often consumed casually stripped of sacred context. It's smoked between social media scrolling errands or just for recreation. Without intention and preparation, the experience can feel overwhelming or shallow. I remember a close friend who started using cannabis casually to unwind after stressful days. At first, it helped her relax and feel calm. But over time, feelings of loneliness and frustration, which she had avoided, started surfacing more frequently. Instead of running away, she chose to face them. She began journaling, meditating, and seeking support from a community. Gradually, what began as a simple habit transformed into a powerful doorway to self-discovery and healing. Cannabis became a tool to access parts of herself that she had long buried, a catalyst for growth. It's important to recognize that cannabis itself is not a cure or a fix. It's a catalyst. It speeds up the unveiling of what's inside. If your inner world is balanced, cannabis can help deepen your insight, sharpen your intuition, and open new spiritual doors. But if your mind is chaotic or your emotions are unresolved, cannabis can amplify that chaos, sometimes creating a difficult or frightening experience. This is why preparation and mindset matter so much. If you're considering using cannabis as a spiritual tool, here are some tips to prepare yourself. Set a clear and honest intention. Know why you are using cannabis and what you hope to learn or explore. Create a safe, calm, and comfortable space free from distractions. Prepare your body and mind through meditation, deep breathing, or light fasting if possible. Have someone you trust nearby to support you if difficult feelings arise. After the experience, take time to journal or reflect on what came up. Cannabis holds no moral weight. It doesn't choose your path. It only reflects your current state with unfiltered honesty. Approach it with respect, preparation, and openness. Be ready to meet all parts of yourself, the light and the shadow. With readiness and reverence, cannabis can be one of the most profound teachers on your spiritual journey. Now that we understand how cannabis reflects your inner state, it's crucial to realize that not every spiritual experience cannabis brings is genuine growth. There's a common trap called spiritual inflation when you feel enlightened, expanded, or awake. But it's only a surface-level mental simulation, a feeling without real transformation underneath. During cannabis experiences, you might notice signs, synchronicities, or feel mystical. These sensations can be intoxicating and seductive. But the key question is, do these experiences lead to real change in your life or relationships? If not, they're illusions. I knew someone who loved sharing his cosmic insights after cannabis sessions, but his personal life remained full of conflict and pain. His spiritual experiences became a mask to hide from reality, not a true awakening. True spiritual growth requires integration. It means grounding the insights from your experiences into your everyday life and actions. It's easy to mistake the intense feelings cannabis evokes for actual awakening. Thoughts feel profound, music sounds deeper, and coincidences seem meaningful. It can feel like touching a higher reality. But this heightened state is not real transformation. It's often temporary and the feelings fade, leaving you where you started. This is why some people chase the high or the feeling of expansion without doing the inner work needed to grow. Authentic spiritual growth is not about chasing mystical feelings. It's about doing the hard work, facing shadows, healing wounds, changing patterns, and becoming more compassionate and present daily. Cannabis can open doors, but walking through requires effort. You must take lessons beyond the experience and apply them. Otherwise, the feelings remain floating in the ether, beautiful but meaningless. I once knew a man who used cannabis to fuel spiritual talks and poetry. He seemed enlightened but struggled privately with addiction and broken relationships. His awakening was a performance, a spiritual mask hiding real pain. It took hitting rock bottom for him to realize that true awakening requires humility, honesty, and consistent work, things no high alone can give. To avoid this trap, stay grounded. Question your experiences. Are they changing how you live? Are they helping you love better, forgive more, and grow stronger? If not, be cautious. Feelings alone aren't the goal. True growth happens in how you live, especially when no one is watching. Remember, cannabis is a tool, potentially powerful, but not a crutch or shortcut. Don't rely on it to escape discomfort or prove spirituality. Use it with intention alongside meditation, reflection, and growth. The path of awakening is lifelong, not a quick trip. Cannabis can open doors, but walking through them requires courage, discipline, and honesty. Now that we've seen how cannabis reflects what's inside us, there's another vital point to understand: the context in which cannabis is used matters deeply. In ancient times, cannabis was never taken lightly or used casually. It was always wrapped in ritual fasting, meditation, chanting, and purification, all designed to prepare the mind and body to receive whatever truths the plant might reveal. These rituals weren't random traditions or mere superstitions. They were spiritual hygiene, much like washing your hands before a sacred ceremony. Without this preparation, the experience can become confusing, overwhelming, or even frightening. Think about it like this: trying to drink a strong medicine on an empty stomach or in a noisy, chaotic place won't be pleasant or healing. The same is true for cannabis. The container you create with ritual and intention shapes your experience profoundly. Ritual has power. It creates a safe and sacred space. It grounds your energy, focuses your mind, and signals to your body and spirit that something important is about to happen. In many ancient cultures, cannabis was consumed only after the group had fasted, lightly meditated, and chanted together. That preparation aligned their nervous systems and hearts, creating fertile ground for insight and healing. Without ritual, cannabis can feel like a random flood of sensations, overwhelming and without direction. But with ritual, the plant becomes a guide, gently leading you toward clarity and transformation. Today, many people consume cannabis casually, often distracted while scrolling phones, watching TV, or chatting in noisy places. This lack of ritual and reverence often keeps the experience on the surface. The plant's deep wisdom goes unnoticed, and users may only feel temporary relaxation or euphoria without any lasting insight. I once attended a small cannabis ceremony led by an experienced guide. Before smoking, the group fasted lightly, sat in silence, and chanted together. That preparation created a powerful container. Everyone felt grounded, calm, and connected. The cannabis experience that followed was profoundly different from casual use, clear, insightful, and deeply healing. That ceremony showed me rituals aren't just old traditions. They're practical tools that help us use cannabis consciously and respectfully. Preparation ensures you meet the plant with respect and readiness. It cleanses your body, calms your mind, and opens your heart. When you prepare, cannabis doesn't overwhelm you. Instead, it gently reveals what you're ready to see and heal. Without preparation, cannabis can amplify fears, anxieties, or confusion, like lighting a fire in a dry forest without control. So, practical tips for preparation include: consider fasting lightly before use, meditate, or practice deep breathing. Create a quiet, comfortable environment, free of distractions. Set a clear intention, and if possible, use cannabis with trusted, supportive people. Rituals and preparation aren't optional extras. They're essential parts of using cannabis as a spiritual tool. By honoring the plant and yourself with ritual, you create the conditions for true insight, healing, and transformation. When it comes to sacred plants like cannabis, one timeless truth stands out. Community is not just helpful, it's essential. In ancient times, cannabis was rarely used in isolation. Instead, it was consumed within ceremonies, rituals, or gatherings where people came together with shared intention and mutual respect. This created a powerful container, a safe, sacred space where transformation could unfold naturally. Community creates accountability. When you are surrounded by others who hold space for you, it becomes nearly impossible to fall into delusion or self-deception. The group acts as a mirror, reflecting your true self back to you, even when you're blinded by your own illusions. I've witnessed moments in ceremonies where someone was overwhelmed by intense emotions or insights. Instead of being left alone or judged, the entire group stayed present, providing silent support and grounding. This presence made all the difference between feeling lost and finding healing. This kind of support is invaluable. When you face your shadows or breakthrough moments in isolation, it's easy to misinterpret or resist what arises. But with community, your experiences are witnessed and validated, helping you integrate and understand them more deeply. Contrast this with modern casual cannabis use. Many people smoke alone, often distracted by phones, screens, or background noise. This disconnected use rarely leads to deep insight or healing. Instead, it becomes a fleeting escape, a temporary relief from life's pressures. Without community, it's easy to get trapped in cycles of avoidance, confusion, or spiritual stagnation. The plant's true potential as a guide and teacher remains dormant. Community can take many forms: a trusted friend, a small circle of seekers, or a traditional ceremony. What matters most is the intention and the shared respect for the plant and the journey. Having this support network helps you process what cannabis reveals. Integration happens when you share your experiences, reflect with others, and receive guidance. This turns fleeting moments of clarity into lasting transformation. Moreover, community reminds us that we are not alone. The spiritual path can be isolating, but connection grounds us. It offers empathy, compassion, and encouragement when the journey feels difficult. In many indigenous cultures, the collective experience was central to spiritual growth with plants. Healing was a shared process, and the group's wisdom and energy supported individual breakthroughs. Today, reconnecting with community in this way can restore the sacredness and depth of cannabis use that modern life has often eroded. So if you want cannabis to be more than a casual pastime, seek out your community. Whether it's a friend who understands your spiritual intentions or a circle of like-minded souls, this connection will deepen your journey and support your growth in profound ways. Remember, transformation rarely happens in isolation. It thrives in connection. Up to this point, we've explored cannabis as a sacred mirror and the power of community. Now it's time to talk about one of the most important steps on this journey: integration. Integration is the process of taking the insights, realizations, and healing that happen during your cannabis experience and bringing them into your everyday life. Without integration, profound experiences remain just fleeting moments, beautiful but meaningless. Many people have moments of clarity or deep emotional breakthroughs while using cannabis, but those moments don't transform their lives because they don't follow through with integration. So what does integration really look like? Integration means applying what you learned during your experience. It means making changes in your habits, relationships, or mindset based on the truths you uncovered. It could be as simple as recognizing a harmful pattern and choosing to respond differently next time. Or it might be deeper, like healing a long-held emotional wound or shifting your perspective about yourself and the world. True integration requires honesty and courage. It means sitting with discomfort, facing your fears, and doing the hard inner work. But integration is often the hardest part. It's one thing to have insights during a cannabis experience. It's another thing entirely to live those insights when the high fades and you're back in the everyday world. Many people get stuck here. They might have beautiful experiences but then return to old habits, relationships, or ways of thinking because integration takes consistent effort and sometimes painful self-reflection. I want to share a story that illustrates this well. A friend of mine had many spiritual cannabis experiences, moments of deep clarity and love. But after the high ended, she would slip back into anxiety and old patterns. It wasn't until she committed to therapy, journaling, and daily meditation that those insights began to take root. By bringing her experiences into conscious action, she slowly transformed her life. It took time and dedication, but the change was real and lasting. Here are some practical tips for integration. Journal regularly about your experiences, insights, and emotions. Writing helps solidify what you learn. Practice mindfulness or meditation to stay connected to the present moment and observe your thoughts without judgment. Seek support from trusted friends, therapists, or spiritual guides who can help you process your experiences. Set small, achievable goals that align with your insights and work toward them step by step. Be patient and compassionate with yourself. Integration is a journey, not a race. Think of integration as the bridge between the inner world you explore with cannabis and the outer world where you live your daily life. Without that bridge, insights remain isolated in moments of altered consciousness. With integration, those moments become the foundation of lasting transformation, healing, and growth. So if you want cannabis to be more than just a temporary experience, commit to integration. Use the insights it reveals as a call to action, a guide to living more authentically and fully. Because true transformation doesn't happen in smoke and silence, it happens in the way you show up, choose, and live every day. As we continue on this journey with cannabis, there is a crucial lesson that cannot be overlooked: knowing when to stop. Cannabis can be a powerful ally on your path of self-discovery and healing, but like any tool, it can be misused or overused. When that happens, it can lead not only to physical dependency, but also emotional and spiritual dependency, trapping you in cycles that prevent true growth. The question you must ask yourself is simple yet profound. Are you using cannabis to genuinely learn, grow, and heal, or has it become a way to avoid discomfort, numb difficult feelings, or escape from life? Learning to listen to your inner voice, your mind, body, and spirit is the hardest but most important part of this lesson. Sometimes anxiety or restlessness might feel like something to soothe with cannabis, but often those feelings are your deeper self calling for attention, signaling something important you need to face, not avoid. Learning to sit with discomfort, to face your fears and pains without running away, is one of the greatest signs of strength and maturity on any spiritual journey. I want to share a story of a friend who faced this struggle. She began using cannabis to cope with anxiety and stress, and it helped for a while. But over time, it became a way to avoid deeper issues. Recognizing this, she bravely decided to stop using cannabis for a time. Instead, she committed to therapy, meditation, and self-reflection. The journey wasn't easy. There were moments of discomfort and doubt. But through that process, she found a deeper lasting peace and resilience, something no temporary high could ever give. It's important to understand that knowing when to stop is not a sign of failure or weakness. Instead, it's a sign of wisdom, courage, and true strength. It shows you are willing to meet yourself fully without crutches, distractions, or illusions. It's an acknowledgement that the most profound growth comes from facing life head-on and embracing discomfort as part of transformation. So pay attention to your feelings before, during, and after cannabis use. Are you feeling empowered or dependent? Is your use helping you engage with life or avoid it? If you notice patterns of avoidance, consider taking a break or reducing your use. Explore other ways to support your well-being, like mindfulness, breathing exercises, therapy, or physical activity. And don't hesitate to reach out to trusted friends, family, or professionals for support when making these changes. Remember, cannabis is a tool, a powerful one, but it is never the source of your true strength or freedom. True strength lies in your willingness to face life honestly, to meet your fears and pains with courage, and to grow through your challenges. Sometimes the most important and courageous step you can take is to put the tool down and simply meet yourself as you are. As we continue this journey, it's crucial to understand that true awakening is not about fleeting moments of euphoria or mystical highs. It's a daily, ongoing practice. Many people mistake the temporary feelings of expansion or peace experienced during cannabis use as spiritual awakening. But real awakening goes far beyond those moments. True awakening is about how you choose to live your life every single day, in the small decisions in how you treat others, and in how you respond to challenges and setbacks. It's easy to feel spiritual when everything feels good, when you're relaxed or inspired. But the real test is staying present, grounded, and authentic when life gets difficult, when you're faced with stress, heartbreak, or the monotony of daily routine. Spiritual growth isn't just for mountaintops or special experiences. It happens in the ordinary moments, the daily grind, the conversations with family, the challenges at work. True awakening means being present to these moments without judgment or avoidance. It means showing up for life fully, not just when it's exciting or easy. This kind of awakening requires patience, courage, and a willingness to face discomfort instead of running from it. Cannabis can sometimes tempt us to chase the feeling of expansion, peace, or insight without doing the inner work that true growth demands. This leads to a trap, spiritual escapism, where the high becomes a way to float above reality rather than engage with it deeply. Without grounding and integration, this pattern keeps you stuck in cycles of avoidance, never fully living or growing. Real awakening is reflected in your daily choices, how you respond to frustration, how you show kindness, how you forgive yourself and others. It's in the small, often unseen acts of honesty, integrity, and presence. It's the quiet commitment to remain awake and real no matter what life throws at you. So remember, cannabis can open doors and reveal truths, but walking through those doors requires daily effort, dedication, and honesty. True awakening is not a destination you arrive at, but a continuous path you walk with intention. It's waking up every morning and choosing to live authentically, embracing both light and shadow, growth and struggle. As we continue on this path, it's important to understand that mastery means taking conscious control of your cannabis experience and your personal growth. Mastery isn't about perfection or strict rules. It's about being intentional, aware, and responsible in how you engage with the plant and yourself. When you have mastery, you know why you use cannabis, when to use it, and just as importantly, when to step back. You don't let the plant control you. Instead, you use it as a tool to support your journey. Mastery begins with setting clear boundaries and intentions. You set limits on how often and how much you consume. You're honest with yourself about what you hope to gain from your experience. This awareness helps prevent dependency and keeps your journey healthy and productive. But mastery also means cultivating inner strength outside of cannabis. Practices like meditation exercise, nurturing healthy relationships, and regular self-reflection build a strong foundation. The stronger your inner self, the less you rely on external substances for growth or comfort. I remember someone who found balance by combining cannabis use with a disciplined spiritual practice. They meditated daily, engaged with community, and maintained healthy boundaries with cannabis. This balance allowed them to deepen their growth without becoming dependent or lost in illusion. Remember, the power to shape your experience lies within you, not in the plant. Cannabis amplifies your inner world, but it does not decide your path. Mastery means choosing how you respond, how you grow, and how you live your truth with or without cannabis. Mastery is a lifelong practice that requires honesty, self-awareness, and the courage to make difficult choices. But when you cultivate mastery, you step into your power as the true architect of your own journey. As we reach the final part of this journey, it's important to remember that spiritual growth and mastery are lifelong processes. There is no finish line. Along the way, you will face setbacks, doubts, and darkness. You will experience moments of clarity as well as times of confusion. This is all part of the path you walk. What truly matters is your willingness to keep showing up, to keep moving forward, and to keep growing with honesty, patience, and self-love. Growth is rarely comfortable or easy. More often than not, it asks us to lean into discomfort, confront difficult truths, and let go of old patterns that no longer serve us. This process can be frightening, but it is precisely where the deepest transformation takes place. The key to walking this lifelong path is commitment. Commit to learning from every experience, the highs and the lows. Commit to being honest with yourself, especially when it's difficult. Commit to nurturing your inner strength and resilience. Remember, cannabis is a tool, a powerful one, but still just a tool. The true power resides within you. You have the capacity to choose how you respond to life, how you grow, and who you become. So keep walking this path with courage. Embrace the unknown, trust the process, and honor your unique journey. When you stumble or face darkness, remember these moments are part of your growth, not the end of your story. This journey belongs to you. Keep choosing awareness, growth, and love every single day. And let cannabis be the ally. It was always meant to be a mirror reflecting your true self and a tool to help you open the doors of your own awakening.